Eddie. What are you doing here?
Hey, is that any way to greet an old friend?
All right, it's great to see you. But the governor was really specific. I'm supposed to start my sessions with Sheila Price. She's still my counselor, right?
Yeah, Todd, she is.
Well, then where is she?
Oh, you better get used to it, Todd. There's been a change of plans.
Sheila.
Hello, Powell. May I come in?
Yeah, sure. Come on in. Although Vicky's not due home from the hospital till around 11 or so.
Yeah. Isn't it great that she's back on her feet again?
It sure is. Well, thanks to your brother.
Well, he had a little help. But actually, I'm not here to see Vicky. I came to see you.
Me?
I need your help with something. Something that may be hard for you to do.
Max? Oh, I thought I saw somebody out here. You okay?
Yeah, I was gonna ring your bell.
Come inside. Come on. Let me get you something. You want some coffee or something?
No, nothing, really, thank you. Yeah, this was a really stupid idea. I'm real sorry for bothering you.
Talk to me. Talk to me. I know things have been rough for you.
Worse, and it just keeps getting worse.
I know. Renee said that Luna went down to see her brothers, and Cassie Marty and I just sent her some flowers and some cards just the other day. I guess you haven't been able to talk to her.
No, she won't. But it's getting worse. After what happened with Blair.
Blair, what about Blair? Max, what happened with Blair?
Well, yeah, technically, suicide is a crime. But, frankly, once we hand him over to the psychiatrists, we back out of it.
Well, that's good. I gotta tell you, I don't think she really intended to die. I think this was all just some big grandstand play to get the fellow that she loves to come back to her.
Uh-huh. Did he?
No.
Ain't love grand. Anyway, your friend Blair should be out in a few hours.
Good. Listen, Nick, I appreciate everything. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Is it okay if I go in there?
Be my guest.
Thanks. Hey, Blair. How you doing today?
What's to you? Get out of here, Cord. Did you hear what I said? Just get out of here and don't come back.
Marty? Marty, over here. Hi. What took you so long? I thought I saw a parking spot across the street.
Well, would you believe a guy took it and I had to go around the block? So, what looks good?
I don't know. We haven't even had a chance to look at the menu. We have been entertaining the waitress, those policemen, and even the postman came over to me. Well, not me.
You're a little heartbreaker, aren't you?
I know. I'm sorry, Marty. I know it seems like I'm bragging, but...
Well, if you can do it, then you ain't bragging. You were a born heartbreaker, weren't you?
Well, hey, Marty, you're starting to be a regular.
What do you mean I hardly ever eat breakfast?
No, I mean here at Rhodey's. I saw you at the bar last night with Kevin Buchanan. Next time you're out drinking with him, will you introduce me? He's adorable.
Cindy, she's a sophomore in every sense of the word.
Yeah, let's play with this. Marty, she said you were drinking last night. What in the world is going on?
Suicide. God, Max, I cannot believe all this.
But it was a trick. She just wanted to trap me into coming to her rescue. That's all. At least that's what Cord said. He was at the hospital. She wasn't planning on killing herself.
Yes, but if Cord hadn't gotten there,
Yeah,
you
right.
did, Max.
Well, she was willing to risk it. Willing to risk everything.
Uh-huh. And how is she?
Well, I talked to the hospital a few minutes ago, and they say that she's got a sore throat, a little bit of a headache, but other than that, they should be releasing her today.
Thank the Lord for that.
Yeah.
So you spoke to her?
No, I get all my news secondhand.
From Cord?
Yeah. Yeah, he stayed at the hospital last night after they took her into emergency. Then he went back to check on her this morning. He's there so I don't have to be. I make any move toward her, and
she sees that as proof that you love her.
And I can't allow that. She has to accept the fact that the only woman I love is Luna.
Yes, well, it's too bad she couldn't have accepted that a little bit sooner. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to understand all the different forms of despair, but this urge to take one's life is,
Yeah, well, I kind of understand it myself. When I went back to our house last night, our empty house, Luna was gone. Al was off staying with some friends. I was all alone, just me. And me that blew everything. And me that hurt so many people. I tell you, Andrew, I felt so lost. And that must be what Blair's feeling right now.
Saw Max a little while ago.
What did he say?
I gave him an update on your condition.
Did he... Is he going to come see me?
No, he's not. He can't do that, Blair.
Because you won't let him.
Because he wants you out of his life, Blair. Because he loves Luna.
He didn't say that, did he? No, that doesn't sound like Max. That sounds like you're moralizing. Righteous Roberts.
Max doesn't want to see you again, Blair. Listen, you gambled big. You gambled that you could risk your life and that Max would rush to your rescue. Well, you lost that bet because he didn't come. But you better thank God I did.
Because you stopped him. He wanted to come, but you stopped him.
Blair, come on. Will you listen to
Just like
yourself?
today.
Listen to what you're
Just
saying?
like today, Cord. He wanted to be here. I know it. But you wouldn't let him. You know, he had you pegged all along. Good old Dudley. Too right. God, I hate you. I hate you for what you've done to me.
Nice. Nice way to talk to the fellow who saved your life. Thank you.
I hate you for that most of all. Why didn't you just let me die?
All right, Blair, look, I know you don't want to hear this right now. I think it's time we get real. Even if Max had shown up and saved you, it wouldn't have changed a thing.
What it would have... You see, it would have changed everything. It would have proven that he loved me.
No. No, it wouldn't, Blair. If he had come, it would have been out of pity, not out of love. Max would have brought you here to the hospital, and he would have left you with the doctors. He would have left you, Blair, because he loves his wife. He loves Luna. And not even trying to kill yourself would have changed that in the slightest.
couldn't you just leave me there, Cord? Why? Then it would have been all over.
Come on, Blair. You didn't want to die. I know you're upset right now. I know you're distraught. But you're not that weak. You're stronger than that. I know you are.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Oh, I see. Then you wanted to die. You think no life at all is better than life without Max.
I only had 2 drinks. It's no big deal.
No big deal. With your history of lupus, Marty?
I know I shouldn't have. It was stupid.
It was worse than that. It was dangerous.
Look, you're going to upset the baby.
No. You know, I cannot believe that Kevin was with you last night and he let you do that to yourself.
He didn't. He didn't. He saw me at the bar. He came over and he told me exactly what you're telling me right now. So I paid for the bill and I went home.
What time did you come home? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, you and Andrew were already sleeping.
Thank goodness for Kevin. And Marty, why did you start drinking in the first place?
What makes anyone do something like that? You know, you're feeling a little low or sad or sorry for yourself, so you think a drink will make you feel better.
Make what feel better? Marty, honey, what's wrong?
What else could be? I mean, what else could it be? It's my buddy Todd. Just knowing that I can see him every day at work, at the hospital, or crossing the street, or he could be sitting next to me at Rhodey's.
I knew it. I told Andrew that. I told him that you were a little edgy at home because of Todd. And you know what you should do? You should stop working at the hospital.
What, you quit?
Yes. You can find another job somewhere where you won't have to deal with Todd Manning.
I am going to have to deal with Todd Manning for the rest of my life. No matter where I go or what I do. So if I let him chase me away now, I'll never stop running. I've let him dictate what I do and how I feel for too long already. It's over.
Okay.
I'm staying.
Okay, honey, that sounds really brave. But if he still has the power over you to make you feel
No,
like...
he doesn't have the power. It's only if I give him the power. So from now on...
What?
Don't look now. No. One of his biggest fans.
I hate group therapy, Ray. You promised me that this was going to be one-on-one.
Nobody promised you anything, Todd. I mean, the whole idea is to sort through all the emotional baggage you've been carrying around your whole life. Now, you're going to be part of a new group made up of some men that are on work release, just like yourself, some men who have completed their time, everybody convicted of rape.
Great. So I'll fit right in, huh? It'll be like a bowling league.
Todd.
All right, look, I got to do it, Ray. I don't got to like it. You know something? If I don't have to start therapy till tomorrow, I got a couple hours before I got to start mopping floors. I'll see you later.
Whoa, where are you going?
You're my friend, right? You're not my parole officer.
Well, you're going to look for Rebecca Lewis, aren't you? Man, Todd, I thought we made an agreement. I mean, you were going to try to straighten out your life and stay clear of Rebecca.
No, you made an agreement. I told you Rebecca was my life. Nobody's going to stop me from seeing her.
Except her. I mean, how about it, Todd? Does she want to see you?
Yeah, I mean, everything's fine. I mean, well...
If it wasn't for Powell Lord, right? It's all his fault.
He twisted her mind. Turned her against me.
That's bull. I met Rebecca. She makes her own choices.
She make her own choices when he's playing mind games with her. He makes her think that she has to apologize for loving me. Those feelings are bad, he says, and everything he does is good. It's a crock, Ray.
Well, she knows Powell pretty well by now.
Not as well as I do. I was in the room at the frat house that night, remember? Powell Lord is not the sweet, innocent little boy next door everybody thinks he is.
Todd will be there, of course. But I'm including other men, both in and out of prison. We're going to be talking about what led them to commit rape and try to prevent them from ever feeling the need to do it again.
Look, Sheila, I mean, this is a great idea, I guess. But what's it got to do with me?
I'd like you to join the group.
This is a joke. It's not funny.
No, Powell, it's no joke. Like I said, Todd will be there. This will help him. Zach Rosen has agreed.
I bet he has. Anything to get out of Statesville for a few hours. Look, Sheila, I don't care about joining an ex-cons reunion, and I sure don't care about helping Todd.
Frankly, Powell, I thought it would help you, too.
Look, I faced up to what I did to Marty. I mean, I know how awful it was for her. It was violent, it was degrading, but I've apologized to her over and over. I've served my time, and I've done everything to make up for it.
Powell, I'm not here to lay a guilt trip on you. All right? But I've counseled a lot of rapists, as well as rape victims, and I know there are going to be unresolved issues and emotions that you haven't been able to come to terms with.
Tell it to Todd. He's the one who's still unresolved. He's the one who still thinks it's everyone's fault except his. Just leave me out of it.
You wouldn't be angry if I hadn't touched a nerve.
That's right. Just when I thought that I've put it behind me, someone like you comes along and throws it back in my face.
I'm not throwing it back in your
Look,
face.
I don't have to prove myself to you or to anyone else, and I'm sure not going to join some therapy group with Todd. He needs help. I don't.
That's the way you feel. But if you should change your mind...
I won't.
Well, I know you think I'm some kind of Pollyanna. You should think again, because I've been right where you're at right now.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I have. Well, I may not have turned on the gas and hoped to die, but I know where your head is at. I know where your heart's at. I know what it's like to love somebody and have them not love you back.
Cord, really? You and Tina at least had a chance. Actually, you had 3 chances. Really? You made 2 beautiful children. So you had your chance. Max and I never even had a chance.
Listen, Blair, I don't want to be cruel here. But you had your chance with Max. Long before Luna was ever in the picture. It's just not meant to be between you two. Just like it wasn't meant to be between me and Tina.
Right, so that's it. Just win some, lose some, and that's supposed to get me through all of this, huh?
Time will get you through all this. And your friends. And your family. And your work.
Yeah, work.
Eventually it'll get better. You'll be able to pick up your life, and you'll even be happy again. You can do that, Blair. I know you can.
Come on, Cord, how am I going to do that? My mother is in an institution. My aunt has kicked me out of her apartment. Cassie's turned her back on me. I have a whopping $25.63. My credit card has hit its limit. Don't you see, I gambled everything that I had on Max Holden. And I lost him. I lost him. Oh, God. God help me, Cord. I lost him.
Last night, after everything that happened, it made me realize that I don't need a gambling group. I need Luna. I need her back in my life so we can work on this together.
And what if Luna feels that she needs to heal her injuries on her own?
She doesn't trust me. I don't blame her for that, but I've got to earn my way back to her, and I can't do that if she's hundreds of miles away, cutting me off. No, I need her here, Andrew. And that way she can see the changes. And I can help her learn to walk. She can help me with my
I'm not
problem.
sure of that right now. I think that she may need to take these very difficult first steps on her own. And I think that it's vital, as much as she loves you, for her to know that she can make it whether you are there or not.
Why? I'm going to be there, always.
How does she know that after the addiction took you away from her? How does she know that after what happened with Blair and after all the lies?
Blair's out of my life.
That may be the case. And what about the gambling? That gambling is still there, and that's a problem that you have got to face and defeat on your own. Got to do it for yourself. For your own peace of mind. And that is the only way that Luna is going to know that you are the man that she married, the man that she believes in. Now, you have got to see that, don't you?
look after the baby while you call home.
No, that's okay. He loves to hear his daddy's voice on the phone. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Hello, Marty.
Honey, I didn't think Rhodey's was your kind of place.
Yeah, but they've got the best waffles in town. Powell and I are crazy about them.
Ah, must be nice waiting around for your Prince Charming to come, not a care in the world. Then again, you don't have a care, do you, Rebecca? Let everyone else in Landview live in fear of Todd Manning. But as far as you're concerned, he's just another good thief. Right? Oh, maybe he's more than that. See, you play good cop with Powell and bad cop with Todd. That's pretty kinky stuff for a choir girl there, Rebecca.
Okay, Marty, you know what? I'll wait outside for Powell. We'll go somewhere else today.
Right. Run.
Look, Marty, if my being here upsets you...
No, it's not your being here. It's what you've done. I've had it with you. And you're gonna listen to me, whether you like it or not.
Lucas Freeman's a pro. I mean, if he's your partner, I'm sure you'll make some progress with Todd and the rest of the group.
Bad news, Ray. Due to a family emergency, Lucas Freeman's been forced to take a leave of absence.
Oh, man, Sheila, I mean, he's a tough guy to replace. I mean, given the dynamics, you have to have a female and a male leading this group. No.
If you're volunteering, the answer is yes.
You know I'm swamped at the prison. I mean, if I could, I would.
Don't worry, Ray. I don't want to stretch it too thin. Besides, I'm planning on asking someone else in a little while. Let's hope it goes better than my previous conversation.
What? Powell Lord didn't give you a problem, did he?
No, no problem. If you like having doors slammed on you.
Too close to the bone for him, huh?
You got it. Young Mr. Lord says he has nothing to deal with. No residue of anger, no confusion.
Well, I suppose it's possible.
Ray, come on. You've been there, and so have I. These therapy sessions aren't just for the obvious ones like Todd. They're for the so-called nice boys, too.
Well, maybe you caught him off guard. Give him some time. He may change his mind.
Maybe. I won't hold my breath.
Yeah. No way. No way.
Stop, please. Please.
Come on, guys, the fun's over.
No, you see, the fun's just beginning. Huh? The fun's just getting started. I'll tell you when it's over. What's the matter with you, pal? I thought you were one of us.
Pal, lock the door.
Pal, do it.
No, pal, don't. No, pal, don't let them do this.
Your turn, pal.
Yeah, this one we know Marty's got the hots for. Mr. Powell Lord III.
Come on, pal.
Do it.
God.
Either you do it, or you're not the man we thought you were.
Either you do it or you're not a man, period. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Come on.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it, pal. Come on, pal.
Do you want to know how I spent last night? No, wait, Rebecca, you're going to love this one. Your other boyfriend was here. That's right, Todd. Newest employee at Landview Hospital. You see, I'm running into him a lot lately. Where I work, where I unwind. Who knows? He could buy coffee at the same coffee bar I do down the street. Lucky me.
Marty, I know you're upset about this, but...
Upset? Why should I be upset? Just because he gets his kicks scaring me half to death. Oh, wait, I forgot. That's just what he has to work through. That's the kind of anger that he has to process. That is what you told the governor, right?
No, I never said that. All I said was that I think he deserves a chance to prove that he's changed. And it wasn't my idea for him to work at the hospital. That was the governor's idea.
And who do you think put that idea in his head? Who told him there's an angel underneath that devil named Todd?
Marty, he's no angel. He's a man. He's a man just like any other man. And I think he deserves a chance to prove he's changed.
That's a very interesting philosophy there, Rebecca. Todd gets a chance, but no one else does. Okay, got that. And he gets mercy, but we're at his mercy.
Marty, he hasn't hurt you again. He hasn't hurt
No,
anyone.
not yet, not yet, not yet, but he will, whether you think so or not.
Marty, I'm sorry, but I have to go. Something's wrong. Excuse me.
What is it, Andrew?
No, it's not Andrew. It's Blair. Andrew said that she was at the hospital all night, and I really don't have time to explain, but I've got to get River over to Mrs. Benson's and...
Oh,
to
shoot.
the hospital. Thank you.
Okay,
Can you get that?
I'll get that. Listen, I've got to go over there now, so I'll come along with you.
Okay, get that too.
Okay, let me help.
Marty, I hope everything turns out okay.
Yeah. You're all hard, aren't you, Rebecca?
Can I warm that up for you? Well, no, thank you. Thank you. Powell, where are you?
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, I walk in here for a coffee and I run into you. Fate, huh?
No, it wasn't fate.
Okay, luck.
Look, Todd, I am glad that you're out of prison, but I just can't have anything to do with you now. If you're going to stay here, I'll wait outside.
What are you waiting for? You're going to, waiting for Powell.
You're free to go wherever you want, so am I.
You're right. You're right, absolutely. Listen, Rebecca, there's something that I want to talk to you about. It won't take long.
No, really, I can't.
No, it just took a second. I heard what you said to me the last time I saw you, how you've done all you can for me. I'm going to have to do the rest on my own. Friendship's over. Of course, we were never just friends then, were we?
Look, whatever
it is, it's over. Right. No, I got that. I'm not mad, Rebecca. Whatever you tell me, I can live with. I mean, I proved that, haven't I? I mean, this is just a coincidence. I mean, if I were going to look for Rebecca Lewis, I wouldn't do it in a joint like Rhodey's now, would I?
Okay, it was just a coincidence. But I still can't be here.
Rebecca, listen, if we're not going to be friends, I mean, do we have to be enemies? Do we? I mean, Landview's a small town. We're going to run into each other. And what do? We just walk by each other. We walk right past each other, and we don't even acknowledge that we exist. After everything that we've been through, I can't do that. Can you? I need something, okay? I just need for you to wave or to nod or to give me something, anything to indicate that we aren't strangers. Now, is that really too much to ask?
Max, I'm so sorry for the interruption. I had to tell Cassie, in spite of everything that Blair's pulled lately, Cassie still cares an awful lot about her, and so she's on her way down to the hospital. And...
That's good.
Okay.
Good. Blair needs somebody there that cares for her.
What about you? Max, I hope you know that I'm a friend who cares, even though I tend to lecture you every now and then.
Come on. I needed somebody to talk to. Thank you. Look, but I got to figure it out now. You know what I need? I need good, hard work. Work takes care of everything. Isn't that what they say?
No. You're not going to prove yourself to Luna by immersing yourself in work at Serenity Springs.
Preacher. An idle mind is a devil's playground. Remember, as long as I keep busy, I don't have to worry about it. I won't have to...
The problem is going to still be there. The problem is like a ticking time bomb, just waiting for the next deck of cards, or the next horse race, or the next...
No, you don't understand. I have to prove to Luna that I am responsible. I have to undo all the stupid things that I have done. Then when she comes back and I have her with me, then I can take care of this. So no problem.
The whole thing backwards. You've got to deal with the problem first. Deal with the addiction. Cure the addiction. Then all the rest will follow out. I know for a fact that there is a meeting of Gamblers Outreach in the basement of the church. Why don't you join into that meeting later this afternoon?
I can't do that. I gotta get back to the spa. I promised Cord I'd take care of the spa while he watched.
I think Cord, of all people, is going to understand if you happen to go to that meeting. I think he'll be all for it, don't you?
All right, I'll think about it.
You will think about it. Will you think about it?
I said I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Right, look, Andrew, I can't stand here and have you hold my hand. Okay? This is a decision I have to make on my own. That's the start, isn't it?
Yes. That is a start. That is a start. Now, you don't mind if I sit here and pray for the rest of the afternoon that you will go to that meeting, please?
No, I am thankful for any prayers I might receive.
Max.
Thanks.
Max.
What? Thanks, okay? You've been great. I don't need a stupid meeting. What I need is Luna. Just Luna.
Blair? Thank God you're okay. Andrew called me. I didn't believe it. Why'd you do it? No, never mind. Just promise me that you will never try to do anything like that again. I didn't expect this. I didn't think it would matter to you one way or the other. Of course it matters. Honey, you're my cousin. You're my family. But after everything that I did to Max and Luna, I was angry with you. I still am. But that doesn't mean I don't love you. Honey, remember when they put me in St. Anne's? And I was confused. I was torn to bits about my baby. And you came to see me, and you didn't leave me, even when I tried to push you away.
Cassie, sweetie, you were all that I had. You were the only one that didn't hate me.
I don't hate you. I hate what you did to Max and Luna, and to yourself. Honey, I'm not about to abandon you.
Well, maybe you should. Everyone else has.
No, not everyone.
I think you should listen to her.
Blair, you're not alone, honey. And I'm not going to let anyone hurt you. Not even yourself. I'd almost given up hope, thinking that, no one in the world, maybe somebody somewhere, cared what happened to me.
Look at me, with mascara all over me. I look like somebody's worst nightmare. Here you go. Thank you.
Yeah, she looks as horrible as usual, doesn't she, Cord?
Yeah, just...
Nice try, you guys, but what I really need is a pair of dark glasses and a big old floppy hat so no one will recognize me when I walk out of here. Blair, you can go. Yeah.
Yeah. Doctor says she's A-okay. She's free to go anytime.
Free? Yeah, right. How far can you go on a whopping $25.63, huh?
Well, if you would accept it, I am sure that I could arrange for a little help.
We both could. Look, hand out, no thanks, guys, really.
Claire, hey. When you helped me with the baby, was that charity? No. It was because you cared. And so is this.
And if it would make you feel any better, we could always arrange a competitive rate of interest.
There's a door right here you can always run.
We're not going anywhere without you.
Suckers.
Oh, there's our Blair, sweet as ever. Look us.
Marty? I don't know if you remember me. I'm Ray Martino.
How could I forget you, Mr. Martino? You helped Todd at the hearing and made quite a difference. And I saw you even more recently escorting our newest janitor to his new job. He's very lucky to have a pal like you.
Marty,
of course, he has a lot of pals, doesn't he? He's got you and Rebecca and the governor. The list keeps growing. It's amazing. I run into Todd's fan club wherever I go.
So I don't blame you for resenting me. And I'll share the responsibility if things go wrong with Todd, but I don't think they will. I have confidence.
Oh, that makes two of us. I have confidence that Todd will hurt someone. Rape, murder, assault, maybe all of the above.
I meant confidence in Sheila Price. I mean, the group therapy sessions she's starting with Todd is just what he needs. Building on the...
Blah, blah. You know, I am confident that Todd said all the right things to his counselor. But I know him, Mr. Martino. I know him in a way that you never will.
He saved your life, Marty. And if that doesn't tell you, he's capable of changing.
He's capable of doing whatever it is to avoid punishment. He probably rescued me and the kids to get right where he is right now. Back on the street. Free to pick and choose his next victim.
Are you sure there's going to be a next victim?
Todd is Todd. It's only a matter of time before that anger inside of him explodes. Explodes like it did before. Carol Swift, me, and who knows how many other women. He's a walking time bomb, Mr. Martino. And anyone who's fool enough to help him is only lighting the fuse.
Max. Sheila. Hi, come in. Please, come in.
Thanks. I know I should have called first, Andrew. I'm sorry. I mean, I just wanted to ask you face to face. I need your help with Todd Manning.
I'm sorry.
1 second, all right? Listen, I thought it would be different on the outside. You know, no bars on the windows. Nobody to tell me when to go to bed or when to wake up. Nobody trying to muscle me into being one of the gang. I could be free, you know? I could be my own man.
You are. You're free to be
No,
whatever
I'm
you
not,
want.
Rebecca. I'm not at all. I mean, there's bars everywhere. You may not see them, but they're there. They're there everywhere I look. People staring at me. People whispering about me when I walk into a room. Everybody's just waiting for me to screw up and go back to prison.
You'll prove them wrong. I know you will.
When you say it, I almost believe it. You make me feel confident, Rebecca. Just seeing you. Seeing you smile.
I really have to go.
Wait, just one more second, please. Just one more second.